After the break, we share a powerful love story. Oraine and Danielle Simpson will be joining us. Soon come.
Folks, it's a love story like no other. Meet Oraine and Danielle Simpson.
Oraine Simpson found out he had renal or kidney failure after doing a medical for 6th form. Surprisingly, he was cleared for school. However, things took a turn for the worse.
When they did the blood test, it showed that everything was off the charts, like protein, albumin, creatinine, bone, everything.
He then went to the Kingston Public Hospital, where
they diagnosed me with renal failure at end stage, because there are stages to renal failure, but I was straight to end stage based on misdiagnosis plus the length of time and how rapidly progressive it was moving.
Since then, he has been getting treatment.
So I did several types of dialysis. The first type that I did was peritoneal, where they inserted a tube inside my stomach to flush or cleanse the blood, but that wasn't working. It was getting infected and it was getting even worse. And that's when I did my, that would have been third procedure, where they placed a catheter in my subclavian, which is in the neck, and that is for blood dialysis or hemodialysis. And then we started to get a fistula, which is these two in my hands, and it's an abnormal joining of a vein and an artery to create what is called an anastomosis. And that's where I use needles, arterial and venous needles.
As a teenager, this affected his life. However, he still managed to succeed academically.
At the time I was going to school, I still managed to do everything that I was set out to do in school, but I did have to go back to the hospital twice per week while going to school and leaving from Clarendon, deep rural Clarendon, to go to Kingston. So everything kind of derailed in a sense, but I actually tried to push through to try to balance it off. But I did pass my subjects at Clarendon College, and I did 9 subjects. But I still managed to pass the Cape as well, and that was only 1 year I did. After that I left and I went to Stony Hill, still going back to KPH twice per week, and I did computer repairs and system administration, and I did pass those as well.
After doing so well in his academics, Oraine was about to face several other obstacles in his life. He did open heart surgery, plus another surgery to remove a tumor that was in his jawbone. This was paid for through the kindness of social media bloggers Brittany, Swiss Lee, and World Dog. With all that he has faced, this 26-year-old was about to go on another journey. This time, a more joyful one. Danielle Richards met Oraine at work, and that's where their story begins.
He's a very amazing person. I like the fact that he is very bold and outgoing. That is what attracted me to him, and he's very intelligent and smart.
Even though initially Danielle didn't know about Oraine's struggle with renal failure, that did not stop her from being with him.
At the start, I didn't know about it because he came off as a normal person. Someone else actually told me that he was sick, and then I asked him about it, and he was telling me about his kidney disease. And I was like, okay, that's fine, I'm okay with that. But going further into the relationship, that's when the other sicknesses came. So like the tumor, his knee surgery, the heart surgery, everything else came afterwards.
And she didn't hesitate to support him.
No one caused illness on themselves, so I was actually okay with it. And I wouldn't leave him at his worst time. You know, like when you're down, I wouldn't leave you like that. So I was there for him right throughout his surgeries, took care of him and all of that, until he was able to do everything by himself again.
The couple got married in March 2022.
Danielle is a very wonderful individual, and as a person I know, for me, I'm very picky in regards to how I choose person, because I need a special kind of love, and I can literally know how a person is loving me And that's what I found in her, based on her caring, peaceful, innocent nature, and reserved, because I'm not liking up the vulgarity or anything like that. And I saw her being like the one right off the bat, even though she didn't think that she was there right throughout. So the motivation is really automatic, because once I know that I can count on her. Because the funny thing, when we just started talking, like as she said, we met in 2018, but we didn't really start in 2019. Our first real birthday would have been at the hospital, because that's when I damaged my knee. And I called her in the night like, come, she's thinking that she's gonna get a surprise. Well, she did, but it's not the one that she wanted, because they didn't allow her to sleep on the ward, and I did not get a bed either. So she would have to sleep in the waiting area. And remember, once it hit 12, it is happy birthday on the ward. So from then, I realized that she's gonna be here. So she definitely motivated me, and is literally the reason why I do all of this. She means the world in the simplest form, but in a more explanatory way. I want her to succeed as much as I want myself, because I see us as being a team, and not just for now, but for the future. So like they call it like your better half, and they take it lightly, like they just say it because it's a thing, but that's really how it is.
The couple had this to say to each other.
So I think I've said this to you before, and I love you not for my love only, but the way that you love me, because we know it's not easy, we know it's hard, but the fact that you are patient, you have a purpose, and you really complete me.
I would like to say thank you for loving me. I really, really, really appreciate you. Thank you for motivating me, pushing me out there, not to be too reserved or too shy, to be more outgoing. So I really want to thank you for that, and I really love you.
And their advice to others in supporting their partner in sickness and in health?
I just want to say persons need to not be superficial in their thinking, because a lot of persons, they don't look beyond the surface. And I always tell people that, like, get to know the story and understand the person. You can't just look like proverbial look on the book's cover. Sometimes you can't really look on the book's cover, but in some cases you really have to get to know a person, because there's a deeper story. And I like to understand a person's story before I make any assumptions, any judgment. And I just wish persons could look past all of that and stop treating persons with a quote-unquote disability as if they're not a real person. They are a real person. They deserve the same amount of love. They give even more love, because they tend to give more love than they receive, simply because they want to get the love. I wish disabled person could be, love could be reciprocated. And also, don't treat disabled people as if they're disabled, because not everybody is disabled. Some persons just literally having an issue. And also, stop acting as if only sick persons need help, or you're only giving advice because you're quote-unquote sick. Advice, good advice should go for everyone, because death is spontaneous, sickness is spontaneous, and it can happen to anybody.
Get to know your person better. Like, it's easier when you communicate, learn each other. Like, it's very much easier. And, you know, motivate each other to go through. Yeah, and that's love. Just love and be love.
Only thing I could say is, wow. What a story. What a great love story. Wow. All right, folks, after the break, kind of strange segue, but children accessing cannabis products. Stay with us, please. Suka.